Hello, my name is Simon and I will be demonstrating the Windows scripting project that I developed for Foundations of Information Assurance at Northeastern University. This video will focus on the domain controller hardening script that is intended to be fast and easy to use for incident responders. This script is incredibly useful to myself as an incident responder on Northeastern's Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition Team, NUCCDC, in order to quickly lock down the domain controller and apply a hardened group policy to all domain joined machines. On this network we have two machines, a domain controller here, as well as a workstation here that is joined to the same domain as the domain controller. We will go back to the domain controller where we have our hardening script as well as the hardened GPO policy that comes with this project. We will right-click the script and run with PowerShell. First, the script finds all accounts, including local users, that are not domain admins. The script asks whether we want to randomize the passwords for these non-domain admin users in order to mitigate attackers further using those accounts with pre-compromised credentials. We can see the script here, and as shown in this section here, the script will enumerate all non-domain admins, including local users, and in this section here, it will randomize their passwords. So for each user that has been identified as being not a domain admin, we will take 64 random characters from our character set here. Once that random 64 character password has been generated, we will apply it to the user account here. We will go back to our script and randomize the passwords. We will hit yes, press enter. As you can see, for each user that was previously identified, their password has been successfully randomized. Again, this helps to mitigate attackers using pre-compromised credentials on these accounts to attack our environment. Next, the script asks if we would like to harden the GPO policies for the domain. The full technical details of what has been hardened is detailed in the README for this project. It includes properties such as hardening password policy for the domain, mitigations against Mimikatz attack, and much more. Note that in the Group Policy Management window, here, we have only one default domain policy, which is a link linked to the actual object in Group Policy Objects default domain policy here. I will use the password policy as one example that will be hardened by our new GPO policy. To access it, we will right-click and click on Edit. We will go to Computer Configuration, Policies, Windows Settings, Security Settings, Account Policies, and here we have the password policy. As you can see, this is an insecure password policy. We have a maximum password age of 999 days, which is far too long, and we have a minimum password length of only one character, which is too short. Similarly, we can see the same settings on the workstation. These are the same settings with 999 days as the maximum password age, as well as one character for the minimum password length. So we will go back to our policy, to the script, and we will click yes to harden the GPO policy. Now note that a backup of the current GPO will be made to the current working directory of the script. The script will create a backup just in case, but it should be noted that this is just for an abundance of caution, as the existing GPO will not be modified. Instead, the hardened GPO policy takes priority and overwrites any overlapping values, leaving the rest to be configured by the existing GPO policy, in this case, the default domain policy. In any case, we can also restore. So we will click yes. As we can see with this window here, the script is already pushing updates to all domain joined machines. In order to successfully push the hardened GPO policy, you must ensure that remote scheduled tasks management has been allowed through the firewall on all domain joined machines. And we can see that is the case here. Otherwise, you may also manually pull updates using gp update/force, but I will not do this now, just to show that our script has successfully pushed domain policies and that this is not necessary. So we can see that the GPO was successfully hardened and pushed to all domain joined machines, and we will verify this. We can see that the GPO backup was made here in a folder called GPO backup. If we want to restore that backup, we can simply go to the group policy management window, right click, restore from backup, and we will choose that folder. We click next, and we can see that we actually have two backups to choose from, because I already ran this script one time before this. But normally this would just be one backup. If we refresh the group policy management window, we can see our new hardened domain policy linked here. We can view the direct object in group policy objects. Here's the hardened domain policy, and once again we will use the password policy as an example of something being hardened, but note that this policy also hardens many more security properties. So we will navigate to password policy, computer configuration, policies, Windows settings, security settings, account policies, and here we have the password policy. As you can see, this is a much more reasonable and secure password policy with a maximum password age of only 31 days and minimum password length of at least 8 characters. We can verify that this has been applied on our workstation by opening up the group policy window. And once again, we will look at the password policies. Here we can see that our new hardened GPO policy has been automatically pushed and applied to this workstation. We have maximum password age of 31 days and minimum password length of at least 8 characters. And once again, this is possible because the hardened domain policy automatically assumes the highest precedence. We can see that by going to linked group policy objects for this domain. As we can see, the hardened domain policy has the lowest link order, which means it takes the highest precedence, and it will overwrite the insecure password policy as well all other insecure policies that the default domain policy has set. We will go back to our script, and next it asks if we would like to view active and past threats that Windows Defender has detected. We will click yes. In this case, no active or past threats have been detected, but if they were, they would be shown here. As well, the script asks if we would like to enable Windows Defender real-time protection. We can see that on the domain controller, Windows Defender real-time protection is turned off and the device is vulnerable. So we will go ahead and turn this back on by hitting yes. First, it will update Windows Defender signatures, and after it has finished updating those signatures, it will enable real-time protection. We can see here that it has successfully updated the signatures and enabled real-time protection, and we can verify that here. Finally, the script asks if we would like to perform an anti-malware scan with Windows Defender. In this case, for the purpose of this demonstration, I will hit no because that malware scan will take a long time, but it will work. It will just, we can go ahead and select yes, but this will take a while to quickly scan our computer. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this demonstration.